uh, one of our very own members in our group, none other than Edgar Reyes, that is part of our group, and he has his very own Pack Vader that, and I hope I said it right, but Edgar, turn around and show everybody what you're in for here, what they're in for tonight. Man, I am super excited to have you part of our group tonight. How you doing, my friend? Pack Vader is in the house. Could you hear me okay, Edgar?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Right. Come forward a little bit more so they could see you just a little bit better. It's a little bit dark, but that's awesome, man. Why don't you go ahead and take it all off so we could see your beautiful face and we could get talking to you for a minute. Maybe keep it close by. Take your time taking it off. These cheeseheads, they'll wait all night to talk to you.
All right, how's that? How you doing?
Good, man.
How you doing, Jim?
Looking good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
First, I got to look around your room there and see, man, you are all packered out. I see Danbury mints of, I believe, Ray Nitsky and Bart Starr. You've been collecting the Danbury mint collection for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, that is correct. I I fall in love with his art. They're really detailed figurines, and I've been trying to get as many as I can. And yeah, that's my primary collection. I love Danbury mint.
That's cool. That's awesome. Awesome. But your whole room there, you're set up to go.
Yeah, this is my packer room. I can kind of like browse around a little bit if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Got a couple jerseys on the wall by Donald Driver and Bart Starr. Couple helmets down there. Again, some Danbury mint over there. Couple lamps. Just couple items that I've been collecting throughout the time, and so some other stuff that you probably can't see because the way the computer is. But
right.
But if you ever in Chicago, like I always told everyone, mi casa es tu casa. You guys can come over. This room, for the most part, it's always empty. And, if you need a place to crash, you're more than welcome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Who do you got on your full-size helmets there?
I got one with a signature of Bart Starr only and all the Super Bowl I, Super Bowl II. And the other full-size helmet has the signature of Aaron Rodgers, Bart Starr, and Brett Favre.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Man, that's highly collectible right there.
Yeah, they are. The other one is just a regular helmet that I purchased because every now and then on Halloween I dress up as a Packer player, and that's the helmet that I wear. But that one doesn't have any signatures or anything like that.
Awesome. Did you like my little music I brought you in with? Did you like the little?
Absolutely. That was very touchy, very nice.
All right. Well, man, it's like I said, I'm excited to have you part of our group. You've been a member of our group for some years now, quite a few years. I got to meet up with you in Canton, Ohio.
That is correct.
With when we went to Brett Favre's.
Right. That was 2016, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As a matter of fact, the picture that you ended up posting for the, for the interview tonight, that was on the game that I put a game that never happened, and we were already.
Happened.
Yeah.
That's right. I think that's the first time in history that ever happened. Also.
Oh, and that I'm not aware. I wasn't aware of it until now.
Yeah. So we got lucky enough to not see a football game.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, they also, I don't know about you, but during that whole thing, you could take a buyout or you could have went to court, that whole thing. I took the buyout.
Hmm. Yeah, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
because
man,
it was, it was kind of like, I mean, in a sense, quote unquote, disappointment that the game didn't took place, because, you drive 8, 10 hours from Chicago to get over there. You pay your hotel room and everything. And that particular time, my son was with me too, so we both were really excited about it. But again, the game didn't take place. And like you said, it's one of those special moments in history because it never took place. So we were present on the one occasion that the game never took place. But again, we had the opportunity to visit the museum, the NFL museum, and it was phenomenal. So, it wasn't just a total waste of trip. So.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Now, Edgar, you have made quite a name for yourself, around Green Bay, going to, different venues and that kind of stuff. Let me ask you, first of all, because I got a bunch of questions. I know that they started asking you questions in the group. I'm going to hit a bunch of those questions here tonight. But tell me, first of all, how did you become a Packer fan? And then who is your favorite all-time Packer?
Okay. First question is, and I'm going to try to make this like a long story short. I was born and raised in Mexico, and I came to Chicago about 30 years ago, give or take. As I grew up in Mexico, I was the weird Mexican kid that instead of following soccer was following football. Now we're talking back in the middle of the 70s, give or take. Back in those years in Mexico, there was only one game a week. That was basically Sunday night. And 5 out of 10 times it was the Cowboys, and the other 5 times it was Pittsburgh. So for the most part, it was Pittsburgh, Dallas, Raiders, a few teams. So I grew up as a Cowboy fan.
Okay. All right. We'll put up with that for just a couple minutes, but keep
but that was way back there. So it's all gone and it's all erased from my memory, kind of. So yeah. And anyway, like I said, to make a long story short, I fall in love with what we call in Mexico American football at very, very early age. How did I become a Packer fan? Well, I myself are into sports. I love playing sports. You name it, tennis, taekwondo, soccer, volleyball. I love playing all the sports, and I'm very competitive. I hate to lose. It doesn't matter what game it is, whether it's individual game or a team game. I hate losing, but at the same time, I always gave credit where credit was due. So if the other team was better, I hate losing it, but I respect the other team. Let's say I lost a tennis match, I hate losing, but I respect the other player. When I moved to Chicago, like I said, about 28 years ago, I couldn't understand for the life of me why did they hated the Packers so much. It was incredible. And that ideology was now the way I grew up. It was not me. I could not stand people hating another team that was better or the same thing or whatever the case is, but they hate him so much. And basically, like I said, to make a long story short, when I saw that kind of attitude, I was like, you know what? I'm going to become a Packer fan, even though I'm living in Chicago, just to rub it on your face, because that way, that attitude is not the proper attitude. So, and, it was not too hard to fall in love with, Brett Favre and, all the good games and everything. So, yeah, that's how I become a Packer fan.
Awesome. So is Brett Favre your favorite Packer then?
You know what? It's a really hard question, because everywhere you look, like I said, I like all sort of sports. You look in basketball, you look in baseball, you look in football. It's really, really hard to pinpoint who's been the better player throughout history. Brett Favre is one of them. Reggie White is another one. Donald Driver is another one. Aaron Rodgers. What is not to love about Aaron Rodgers? So I'm going to be honest with you. I do not have a favorite player.
Okay. It's hard to pick one. It really is, man. There's so many greats. I sit there and I think about Brett Favre. He probably is my favorite. But like you said, Bart Starr, how could you say Bart Starr is not a favorite, or Aaron Rodgers, Reggie White, and the list goes on and on.
On and on, correct.
Totally understand. Okay. Now I want to jump right in because we do have a bunch of great questions here that might take a little bit of time. And I want to make sure we hit them all because these people, they love you, man. They love you. And before we jump into the questions, and I just said I was going to jump into them, but you have a very famous car as well. Tell us about your car.
Okay. Well, I was in the market for a car, and I actually somehow I saw on the internet this Volkswagen Beetle with a logo on the side, and the helmet thing on the front of it. Now, like, you know what? That's phenomenal. That's beautiful. And I started looking for a Volkswagen Beetle, and but I couldn't find the right color. So anyway, I went to this dealer where they had another car like in the color that I was looking for, which it was a Chevrolet dealer. And the guy goes, and we look in the car. It was a used car and everything, but I was like, nah, we couldn't agree on the price, and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. The shape of the car was not the Volkswagen Beetle, which resembles, the helmet. So I was like, and then he goes like, well, if you're looking for something really, really cool, and whatever, he goes like, I got this particular Chevy Camaro, and one color that it comes out once in a lifetime. So make a long story short, I like, it was way over my budget, but I love the car. And then I was like, you know what, just go crazy. You live once in a, you only live once. And, you're here to enjoy, certain things that you can enjoy when you can enjoy it. And then I just went crazy and bought the car, went to a place where they kind of like manufactured the decals on the side. And that's basically how did I, ended up getting the yellow Chevy Camaro. And then I started looking at the Secretary of State that you can actually have your, what they call personalized license plate. I started looking for different combinations. Some of them were already taken. And then I came out with the GB PCKR, and it was available. I was like, excellent, this is it. And I went ahead and bought it. So I got my license plates on my Green Bay Camaro, and it's a GB PCKR, and that's how it is.
Nice. Now you have to do me a favor later tonight or tomorrow. Will you post a picture of your car with you in the group?
Absolutely, you got it. Yes.
All right, great. Now I also, on this thread that everybody's watching on right now, and everybody's jumping in saying hello Edgar, I love Camaros, let's see a picture. I believe I saw your son is in watching as well.
No, he's not here. He's at college.
Well, I mean, on the Facebook, on the live, I thought I saw, watching.
Okay.
So you could give a shout out, say hello to your son.
Hi, Chacho. How you doing?
Very good. But we all want to know, how did you come up with becoming Pac Vader?
Okay. The story started with my very first time at Lambeau Field. It was back in 2014. Before that, I had a family to raise with 2 little kids, home mortgage to pay. So I didn't have enough money to go out to the games. So, but anyway, in 2014, I found the opportunity to go for the very first time. And to me, that was a dream come true, being at Lambeau Field. I mean, Lambeau Field is, with all due respect, it's kind of like the holy land of NFL with all the history. I mean, the NFL, history comes back to Packers and Bears, basically, So being over there was a dream come true. But then this experience, it was against also the Cowboys on the divisional playoff game on 2014 2014. Anyway, when we got there, and me and my son had the opportunity to go there, and it was something that really caught my attention was seeing a couple of fans dressed up with different costumes, or just being dressed up, and how friendly they were, because we were just dressing normal and everything, and then we came to them because we didn't know if there was going to be another opportunity for me to come back to Lambeau Field. So we want to make a good memory out of it. So we came with these people, and I'm like, hey, can we get a picture taken with you? And they were like super friendly, like, of course, blah, blah, blah. make a long story short, as the time went by and I saw the opportunity to come back to Lambeau Field, enjoy time over there, I also came to realize that for so many people, coming to Lambeau Field and watching the Packers play, it's something that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or it's something that they have on their bucket list. And when that happened, the opportunity happened for them to be there, I kind of like felt that, you know what, I want to make this experience for these people who could be the only time that they're going to be here a little bit more enjoyable and you know, something that they will remember for the rest of their life. The same way I felt the very first time that I was there, and I like, how can I do this? You know, so I was talking with my son precisely one time, and I don't know exactly the details, but I had a mask of Darth Vader, and I think he suggested it like that. Why don't you use your mask, your Darth Vader mask, you know, and then just go over there like that. And, you know, I started with not as many things as I wear right now, you know, but I started with that. And I mean, it turned out to be that something that people really, really like it, either because they were Packer fans and Star Wars fans or Darth Vader fans, so they got the whole combo right there, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you know, I love Star Wars and you know the Packers," and they were super excited. Or even if they were from the other team, you know, but some family member was a Packer fan and a Darth Vader fan, and like, "Oh my gosh, can I get a picture with you? You know, my so and so relative will love it," and I see the genuine excitement of the people. I was like, you know what, this is it. So literally everything started from that point on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Brianna LaFond in our group asked, what is the best reaction you ever have that you've ever received while you've been dressed up, you know, in your costume? I don't like the word costume.
Okay.
This is your gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like the jersey that you wear, like my shirt, that's your gear. That's your, you know, your personality, that's your persona.
Okay.
So it's not a costume, because costumes are for anybody. This is who you are.
Okay.
You know? So what is the best reaction that you've ever had in regards to that? Do you have something in mind? Do you have a positive reaction or a negative reaction? Have you ever experienced any of those kind of things?
Yeah, I think I saw something similar. And early today, the question, and somebody was asking what was the best reaction from a fan and from a actual player. When it comes to a fan, last summer, I had the opportunity to be at the shareholders meeting, which is also the training camp together, like pretty much at the same time. And a friend of mine from Chicago had a couple of extra tickets, and like, hey, we gotta go. I'm like, sure, I'm in. So anyway, we went over there. I was dressed up as a Pack Vader. There was a little kid that had some what's called like a Down syndrome. He was in a wheelchair. You know, it was with his mom, and then I'm kind of like standing right over there looking at the different activities that they had at right next to Lambeau Field. And the man comes and taps his shoulder and like, hey, my son wants to get a picture with you. And he also wants to know if you can he had a little like a rubber football, you know, and he wants to know if you can sign the football with. And like, I feel like, oh my gosh, you know, this is incredible. I mean, like, it was an honor for me someone to come over and ask me for my signature and, you know, and her souvenir. And I was like, absolutely, you know. So I went down, you know, get down, because he was, like I said, in a little wheelchair, and we get the picture taken. And then right in front of him, I sign my name. His expression, his face turned so I don't have words to describe the expression on his face, and his hands were like that when he saw me signing the thing. That's by far, and I think it's gonna be for the rest of my life my best experience with a fan. That's definitely, that was last summer at the preseason training camp.
That's awesome.
With players, I haven't really got close experience with a player other than last year too. Here in Chicago, they have what they call the Packer Palooza event,
yes,
in Northside Chicago. Well, I had the opportunity to be there too, and there was Clinton Dix, Vince Begel, and who was it? Davante Adams. All three were there to sign things and everything. So, but basically, you were lining up, and then you will, give them your item to be signed and everything. Well, as I was getting in front of Haha Clinton Dix, he's signing. Well, he saw me and started signing, and then he go like, "Come on." Like that. So I went around, and they were going to stop me from getting into where they were. But then he turned around and told the guy, no, it's okay. Have him come over here. So I went up to the podium where they were signing, and then we stand next to each other. And he's like, yeah, I have a friend who loves Darth Vader, and he likes to do this. He made me do some sort of like military shaking. I don't know what the meaning was or anything, but he's like, come on, right next to me. And that, for me, it has been the best interaction with any football player, with Haha Clinton Dix.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you had a negative experience where maybe an opposing team or something has said something or done anything wrong? I'm sure you might get some negative reactions too.
Well, surprisingly, I mean, other than booze and that kind of thing, two things happened only, and they weren't really major things. A couple of years ago, I went to watch the Packers playing at Soldier Field against the Bears. And actually, that was with my son that one time too. As we were leaving the stadium, there was a drunk guy. He would start like blah, blah, blah. And then he kind of like swing at me and throw my cheese head on the floor.
Yeah.
That was it. But it was a drunk guy. So, and I mean, I could have start something, but it wasn't worth it. We had won the game. I had a great time. And also my son was with me. There was no point to put us in trouble or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, and that was the one thing. The other time I went to, when the playoffs took place in Washington, I went to watch the Packers playing the Redskins. And on my way to my hotel, I had to walk a couple of blocks from the train station to my hotel, just a couple blocks. And as I was walking dressed up as a Darth Vader, a car swing by and they honk at me, and a couple guys gave me the middle finger, and but they're like, yeah, whatever. So, but no, that's basically it. I really haven't had much of a bigger problems or anything.
Well, good. And like that experience, that positive experience that you just mentioned there, that by far outweighs anything, Absolutely. And I know now in your life, it's fun to do it, but it's more rewarding for you to get those positive things out of it more than anything. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the experience that I had with the little kid, like I said at the beginning of the conversation, my mission was to make that experience special for somebody. When that happened with that little kid, I could easily say mission accomplished.
Absolutely. Now, James Randolph, I don't know about you if you know this guy, but this guy's a diehard fan of yours and of our group. He wants to know, how many hugs do you get at a Packer game from kids, from beautiful women, you name it? You must get a lot. How many Packer hugs do you get from people?
I do get a lot. I honestly can tell you, but I do get a lot, whether it is when we're getting a picture taken or when somebody just want to give me a hug like a kid or something. But, I don't know. I can't really tell you one number, but there's a lot.
Be careful of James Randolph, because I'm sure he would grab a hold of you and he wouldn't let go, because that guy thinks you're awesome. We've talked about it, and he thinks you're pretty cool. So do I, but you might have a number one fan there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So very kind. Appreciate it.
Oh. And now what I want to do is, obviously we're live in the group right now. So as some of these questions come in, mm-hmm. I want to address them as they come in, if we can. We have a bunch of people that have joined us tonight. Seth Bennett from Oregon is with us. Pam Leggett. Carol Michaelizio is with us. Hello, Carol. A bunch of great regular fans of our group are with us always. And, if you had a message to share out there with people, inspiring to be the best people that they could be, what kind of message would you share with them?
to be the best people they can be as a human beings or as Packer fans?
Well, I think as Packer fans, because it's mostly Packer, and you kind of mentioned it early on, is when you're out there and you're doing these things, you're doing it for the fans, you're doing it for the love of the Packers. How could somebody be a great Packer fan like you have and represent the Packers in the best way possible like you can?
Oh wow.
I know
I
you told me to take it easy on you, but I have to throw some hard ones at you, Edgar.
okay. I would say, well, two things. First of all, enjoy and be very proud of being a Packer fan. We are going to go through highs and lows, and there's a lot of people that when they go through the lows, they're like, oh, Packers this, Packers that, and they start talking trash about it. But honestly, if you really think about it, being a Packer fan, not only because all the years that the Packers have been on the playing professional football, because the history behind it and all the great players that had been through all these many years, it is basically like I respect my God very, very highly, and I don't want to kind of like mess it up, but it's kind of like a gift from God to become a Packer fan. So if you're a Packer fan, you're being gifted. You're being gifted, and you should be proud, all the time, whether they have a bad season or a good season. The other one I would say is very easy to turn aggressive toward another team's fan. When they say something, my best advice for all you Packer fans out there, every time somebody said something about the Packers, like they whisper in your ear or they yell it at you, this is what I do. All I hear is, I wish my team was as good as you. And that's the end of the story. I continue my walking.
Love it. Love it. Well, and you've probably seen, Wayne Sargent, Steve Tate, you go to Lot One, you hang out with these guys, and they are the exact same way, man. How could you, and that's what we try to do in our group. How could you represent the Green Bay Packers in the most classiest, the most green, the most professional way? And it's by being a good fan in tough times and in not tough times, sticking by your team. We have the greatest tradition. We have the greatest fans, the greatest players ever, the most championships. So act it as if you were part of that Packer organization. I'm a stockholder, an owner in it, like Steve Tate. I don't know if you are, no.
No, I tried to, but I think that that was kind of funny though, because I made a call and I'm like, hey, how can I become a Packers shareholder? Like, oh, that only happens every so many years. And ever since the Packers were created, I think there's only been twice or three times, where they sold shares for the Packers. So like, oh, I guess I don't know if that's going to happen again in my lifetime, but I did try. And the other funny thing is, it's a funny story though, because I wanted to put my name on the waiting list. So I could, at the same time I was talking to the one lady, like, okay, I want to become a, season holder ticket. And she go like, okay, what's your name? What's your age? Where do you live? Address, phone number, blah, 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 blah. So it took about 5 minutes, getting all the information. And then when we're about to finish the conversation, I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, how many people ahead of me before I can get my tickets? And she was like, oh, just about 125,000 people. Oh, like, really, lady? Why do you even bother to ask me for all these questions? I'm going to be like way, way underground by the time my time is up. They're like, well, some people want it for the grandkids and so forth. Like, okay, that wasn't me. But no, I'm not a shareholder. I mean, I wish I could, but, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. You never know.
You never know. Correct.
Now, do you go to any other functions or any kind of events? We talked about Brett Favre in Canton, Ohio, but do you go to any other events or any other functions dressed up as Pack Vader? Outside of Lambeau Field or anything like that, do you ever go dressed up as Pack Vader to any other Packer, non-Packer functions?
Right. No, the only other event that I dressed up as a Pack Vader is the Packer Palooza here in Chicago. Like it's actually happening this coming Saturday. So if anybody from Chicago is watching, it's can I mention the place? I think it's
Absolutely,
Will's.
absolutely. Yeah. I was going to try to make it myself and just wasn't able to.
Oh yeah, it's on the north side of Chicago. The bar is called Will's Bar or Willie's Bar, one of the two. It's on the 3000 block north in Chicago. So it's happening this Saturday, and I believe it starts at 9 or 9:30. So yeah,
Okay. And
and
you'll be there.
I'll be there dressed up, like a Pack Vader.
Nice.
And that's basically, aside Lambeau Field or, when I go watch the Packers in a different stadium, I don't dress up like this.
Okay. All right. When you're out there, and from now on, your obligation is you have to tell people to come join our group because you've been part of our group for many years, and we consider you, one of the founding members of this group. So you got to send them all our way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
All right. Now, with this, I have put a link on here for people. You have your own Facebook group. You created this group. So when people are out and about and they take a picture with you, you would love for them to share it in your group. You don't necessarily need comments or anything like that, right?
no,
Or any kind of that kind of stuff, any kind of interaction. Just if you go out there and you get a picture with Edgar, please post it in your group. And I posted a link at the top here. So, feel free to join his group, people. We'd love for you to do that. And when you're out and about at the games, go up, say hi to Edgar, tell him Big Queso sent you, get your picture taken with him and post it in the group.
right.
You know.
I was, before we continue on, I was going to say something when you mentioned something about me inviting people, to your group, just in case, because I did invite some people out of the group tonight, but I'm sure there's going to be probably some other people out there. I want to make sure that they know that this group is the best Green Bay Packer Facebook group and the entire internet. And the reason is because it's well managed and also it's so clean. I mean, people who do not belong to this group right now and you're watching this group, you will never, ever hear anybody swearing or talking trash about the Green Bay Packers. And that's something that is commendable because Jim Cooper and the entire organization, all the administrators that have been working with you, I mean, you guys doing a phenomenal job. I just want to make sure that people out there that do not belong to the group know about this. This is so clean. I mean, it's so clean that any kid, can, watch and post and everything. And the parents don't have to be worried about anything that it's, disgusting being posted in this group. Absolutely.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
Well,
no problem.
it's exactly what you just said. We have young children in our group and we want them here. We want them to learn about the Green Bay Packers. We have Packers on here all the time that we go live with, and we want them to understand what the Packers are truly about, not about swear words or memes or, nudity, which you could find in other groups. We want to keep it as best as we can, as quickly as we can, to the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely, yes.
So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
No problem.
When it comes to Lambeau Field, you had mentioned it earlier. I don't think people truly understand until you go there, until you experience Lambeau Field. When you talked about it, it's magical. It's magical. So if you could recommend any place in the world to go visit a game, would you have to admit it would be Lambeau Field?
Absolutely, without a question. There, like I said, I've been in a couple other stadiums, outside Lambeau. Most of the time, like I said, it's been a positive experience. But what I hear all the time from, visiting people from other teams, is that how well treated they were at Lambeau Field. I mean, our fans, obviously there's always the black sheep over there or the guy that has a couple extra drinks and, misbehave or whatever. But 99% of the time, most people are like so pleased about their experience at Lambeau Field because we fans respect all the fans from other teams. And I'm going to use a quote from my friend Steve Tate. Most of us, we are fans or fans. We don't care if you're a Cowboy or a Redskin, a New York Giant, whatever the case is. We enjoy having you at Lambeau Field. We enjoy playing your team, and we respect that.
We're going to respect you, respect us as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, your son goes to all these games with you, most of them.
Well, they used to do that, but now they're away from college. Both of my kids. I got two kids. My daughter, Uni. I don't know if she's watching too or not, but Uni, greetings. And the way it used to be, it was like they used to take turns. Like one Sunday will be my son, the next time will be my daughter, and so forth. But unfortunately, unfortunately, quote unquote, they are away for college right now. So when the NFL season is taking place, they are over there, and it's a little bit harder. And school comes first. So I'm not gonna tell them to skip school, and so let's go to Lambeau. So for the past couple of years, they haven't been able to come to Lambeau.
Okay. All right. When they start coming again, and yes, please, anybody you want to say hello to, please do it. Share as much love with your family and your friends as you want to. But you got to, one of these times, get them to dress up maybe as a stormtrooper or something like that to go along with it.
Actually, my son did it one time, but he wasn't felt too comfortable. But one time, I don't know, a few years ago, I was dressed up as a Pac Vader, and he was wearing like a trooper. One of the troopers with the white mask and everything. And, but that was the one and only time. And he's like, okay, that's it. No more for me.
Will you do me a favor and grab your helmet again?
Yeah, sure.
Bring it closer so we could get a good look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when it comes to your gear here, how many helmets do you have that you own? Do you switch them out? Because I thought I saw one that was green and yellow on the side.
Uh-huh.
Do you have different helmets? How many do you have? And then as well, how much does all of this weigh? As you and I were talking about a little bit earlier, you said it could get very hot at times as well. But tell us about all that. How many helmets? Does it get hot? How much does it weigh?
Okay. This one actually is a little bit more professional, and it's a little bit heavier because it's made out of two parts, which is the mask and the helmet. So,
okay.
I can put it back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty much like the real Darth Vader.
Yeah, that one is pretty much like the real one. Yes. So anyway, that one is by far the heaviest one, and I would say it's about, boy, I'm not really good at those kind of things, but I want to say maybe 3 pounds, give or take.
That's pretty heavy to be standing there. And if you guys watch football games, you'll see Steve Tate there, you'll see all these guys. But then you'll see Edgar. Most of the time, they love to flash it on you on TV as well. And you wear that 90% of the game, don't you?
Yeah, I wear it actually 100% of the game.
100% of the game, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the weight, I mean, my mind is so into the game that it doesn't really affect me. I'm not paying attention into the weight of the helmet. Like I said, this is the heaviest one. I had a previous one, like you mentioned. It was just the mask, but the way it was designed with the thing holding into my head, it was putting too much pressure into my head. Toward the end of the game, I would kind of like start with some sort of like headaches and everything. So that's why when I decided to change it for this one. So yeah, it's been a little kind of like evolution, let's put it that way, from designs and helmets and everything. But I had only had two. This is the second one. The other one that you were talking about, that was the initial one. So, but yeah, that was just in the collection room somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any plans to change it up at all? Or
No, not right now. Like that one is basically the 2018 model. So I just designed that one last year, and I think it's going to stick around for a couple more years or so. So not anytime soon. And when it comes to the, getting hot inside and everything, unless it's a hot day at Lambo or, at the game, yeah, you can get a little bit uncomfortable. What I do is I don't wear the sweatshirt. I just wear my jersey with this, and it gets a little bit hot. But for night, I want to say 80% of the time, it's a benefit for me because I'm in the cold, especially at Lambeau Field in the wintertime, and I don't feel like, the freezing cold because I'm warm enough. Plus, I have a couple extra layers of clothes and everything. So, yeah, it's actually work in my favor rather against it.
Awesome. Have you ever had complaints? And I'm reading through, I think it was Jen Evans asked, have you ever had complaints of the people behind you to sit down or take it off because they can't see behind you?
No. No, because the way the Lambeau Field is designed, they're pretty high between rows, and I normally sitting up front, and they're like there's a pretty good distance between, like height wise between the person sitting behind me, and again, we're standing up, we're sitting down and everything. So no, I never really had an issue. And nobody has ever brought it to my attention, like, hey, buddy, I can see anything or whatever. No, so I personally don't think it's an issue again because, never had a problem. For the contrary, a lot of people go like, oh, so cool, you're sitting right next to us because most likely we're going to be on TV. Like, chances are that you will.
Awesome. Now, when you get to the game and you remind us again, what games are you going to that you have tickets to this year? So if people are trying to plan around it, they could come out and say hello to you. What games are you going to this year again?
Well, I'm planning on going to every single game at Lambeau. So far, I had bought 4 tickets, one for the opening game here at Soldier Field. So I'm going to be cheering for our Packers and our 100 anniversary game, whatever they want to call it. So definitely I'm going to be there. And I already had tickets to watch the first game at Lambeau, which is going to be against the Vikings. The following one, I believe, is going to be against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then Broncos Denver. So I got tickets for those. But again, I'm planning on going to every single game this season again.
Awesome. And do you go to Lot 1 when you do get there? Do you do a little bit of tailgating? So if people wanted to come up and meet with you, is that primarily where you hang out for a little bit before you go in and watch the game?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. I go to Lot 1 and, just to say hi to my friends, all of them. And I stick around for a little bit over there, just greeting. And a lot of people, because, there's a lot of well-known people over there, they come over there and then they'd like to get pictures with all of us and so forth. So I stick around most of the time at Lot 1, but, I like to walk around too and see what's new, and.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you're friends with Steve Tate, Wayne Sargent, all those kind of guys. Kevin Bowes in our group asked, are you friends with Marco Flores? I believe he goes by Senor Cheese.
Senor Queso, I think, or I know. Yes, I'm not close friend with him, but every time we see each other at the stadium, we say hi to each other. We got pictures taken with each other, and yeah, I know he's from Dallas. He doesn't come from somewhere in Texas. I don't want to say Dallas, but I know he's from Texas, and then he got his mariachi gear.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, really well designed gear. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do know him, and like I said, we're not so close of a friends, but yes, we do have enjoy having time together when we happen to be at the same game.
Awesome. Well, and that's one thing I'm gonna put the group to the test right now is guys, reach out to Marco Flores. Tell him Big Queso wants him to go live with them here in the group. So Kathy and James, Kevin, all you guys reach out to Senor Marco Flores, Senor Cheesehead, I believe is what he goes by. Neil Saunders just posted that. guys, please reach out to him. Tell him Big Queso wants to go live with him in the group, because you see how it is, Edgar. We like to bring awareness as much as we can about the Green Bay Packers. We all have our weird little things. You know, they call me the Big Queso in the group. I have one of the biggest Facebook groups out there. We try to bring positive, but now we're trying to reach out to each other with Steve Tate, with Marv Fleming, Chris Jackie, Players Alumni Resources, Players Congress. All of us are trying to come together to spread positive vibes for everybody. And the more that we could bring into that circle, the better off we're going to be.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's a family atmosphere that Vince Lombardi talked about, you know, God, family, Packers in that order. And so why not help out and put a hand out there for Edgar Reyes or Steve Tate or, you know, any of these guys that are out there, and they're doing it for the fans of the Green Bay Packers like yourself. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, well, Edgar, it's been my pleasure, you know, having you part of the group. I told you, man, it goes by pretty fast and pretty painless.
Yeah, actually, it did. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Last night, I couldn't sleep that well because I was thinking about like this today. And I was like, oh, my gosh, you know, all the questions and this. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of nervous a little bit. But, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it went really smooth. And, you know, it was fantastic. And, you know, it was my honor to be here. Thank you so very much for the invitation. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I want you to private message me your address if you would. I'd love to send you some group swag or whatever it is that you want to call it. But I'd love to send you out some free stuff for being part of our live. We got these big, new, huge stickers. You think one of these might be able to make it on your Camaro?
Yeah, I think I can find a spot for it.
All right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Private message me your address if you can. I'd love to send you out a little care package.
Oh, thank you.
If you can, as much as you can, spread the word, and we're going to keep you in our group. Maybe one of these days we could talk you into be one of our moderators in our group.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will be an honor. Absolutely. Yeah, whatever I can do to help you out.
All right. Don't forget to post that picture of your car. Everybody would love to see it.
As soon as we finish with this interview, I will go up to the, you know, We Bleed Green and Gold group, and I post it over there. I will post it over there.
All right, my friend. All right. I will probably see you at the Denver game.
We'll look forward to see you there. Are you coming alone, or any of your kids coming with you?
You never know. You never know. You know, those kids, man, I got 4 of them. One's in the group. My oldest is in the group, and she always chimes in here. And she has my grandson, Reggie, after Reggie White, that she talks about all the time. But my 3 little ones, they drive me crazy, man.
Hey,
we went to that meetup, and all these admin were hugging them and all that kind of stuff. I said, take them for about a month. Send them back when you're done, but take them for about a month. Teresa Woot Woot and James and all these people, they just love them. And Kathy Conway sends them gifts all the time. But, man, they drive me crazy sometimes, Edgar.
Yeah, I think I know that because one time we were supposed to meet at Lambeau, and one of your kids also was giving you so much hard time that never happened. I don't know if you remember. We actually called each other over the phone and like, hey, where are you? You know, oh, I'm right here, blah, blah, blah. So we were supposed to get over there, but there was something with your kid, you know, like, you're like, oh, this is not going to work. So we did and ended up seeing each other at Lambeau. But no, absolutely. It will be my pleasure to say hi to you at the Broncos game. Awesome. You know, I'll really look forward to see you there. Absolutely.
Awesome. One more announcement, then I'm going to let you go. We have next Thursday, we have Glenn Christensen, who has the most epic man museum cave, the most historic items of any Packer fan I've ever seen in the world. And Glenn's going to be going live with this in our group, and his memorabilia collection, it makes me drool. I got to meet Glenn a few years back in Green Bay at another Brett Favre autograph signing. This guy is incredible. Yeah. So tune in for that, guys. Mark it on your calendar. Next week, next Thursday, I'm super excited about it. Glenn Christensen. He sent me some of his magazines that we're going to be giving away to some of the members of the group as well. So, Edgar, thank you again, man. Please don't forget to send me your address.
I will. No, I will.
I'm blessed to be your friend, man. And as we always say it when we end the night, man, we say it loud and we say it proud. We bleed green, gold. We bleed green and gold.
Gold.
Go, Pack, go, my friend.
Go, Pack, go. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Have a great night.
I will talk with you soon. And I'm going to make James Randolph chase you down about becoming a moderator.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you soon, Edgar.
Thank you so much, Jim Cooper. Thank you. Have a great night. God bless, and go, Pack, go.
All right, my friend. Take care.
Bye now.